All right, everybody, welcome back to the Jiggy and Joe show on this Football Friday, where we're going to preview the Week 5 slate and a little bit of college football. I think, Joe.
Yeah.
There's a couple games tonight that I kind of want to talk to you about at the end of the show, obviously. So let's go ahead with the Week 5 slate for the NFL, Joe. Who do you like
Well,
and
first of all,
where
can
do you
you
put your bet?
believe can you believe that it's week 5 already?
Dude, it's flying. Football season
It's
flies every year,
Would you consider this the quarter of the season? I'd say so, right? Yeah.
right?
I mean, there's tons of decent games. I'd say probably my favorite game is Cowboys versus Niners. I think we could probably get to that first if you want, I'd say.
Yeah, game. I think that's the game of the week. I'm glad that's in prime time. The NFL is blessing us with a fucking great game ever since we've had some shitty games in prime time this season.
Yeah. So as you all know, we do a segment called the Jiggy and Joe Show. Not the Jiggy Joe Show, the Jiggy Joe Cash Flow.
You got to get that
Sorry.
right, Joe. It's your own bet. It's your own segment, and you got the name wrong.
Yeah,
Get with the program.
I'll get it right next time. But first of all, we got the Niners Cowboys. That's going to be a great game. I'm looking to see that's some offense, but both defenses are amazing. Both offenses are amazing. I want to see more from the Niners this game. I'm going to take the Niners money line. Along with that, this is a given. I'm going to take McCaffrey touchdown, but you could probably just add that to Niners money line if you want. It's just a little add-on, but it's just so like favored at this point, so it's whatever. It's up to
Uh,
you.
I like the McCaffrey touchdown, and I want Cowboys. I think this is going to be a preview of the NFC Championship game, and I think the Cowboys get them here, and I think the Niners going to get them in the NFC Championship game. And so, Joe, what's your next game that you like?
I also do like the London game of Buffalo and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I like that.
Um, that I think that's going to be a pretty good game. I forgot where my pick was, but what are you thinking about that game?
Yeah,
What are your thoughts?
yeah. So the Jaguars are playing back-to-back weeks in London. It's their second week. They've stayed in London. They have a leg up in that regard,
Hmm.
based on the time zone, the travel, and so I'm gonna take the Jaguars in this game.
Yeah,
Just strictly because they've been there for a week and they've never lost in London.
right. The Jaguars are the team for London. I feel like that's London's home team right there. Jags usually play well. I'm also gonna take Jags money line. I was looking at Buffalo minus 5.5, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take Jags money line. I think they'll pull it out.
Just take the straight up.
Yeah, I'll take it straight up. The Buffalo 5.5, minus 5.5 does seem enticing though.
It does,
So
but it does, but it like the fact that the Jaguars have been there for a week
that's
and
true.
pretty much every London home game for them, every London game for them is a home game. They've been playing out there so much over the last I don't even know, man. It's been like a decade maybe. So there's a lot of Jaguars fans there, and it's a home game for them. They've been there for a week already. Bills probably got there a few days ago, and the Bills are a better team. I think the
They
Bills
are a
are
better
a better
team.
team, but just strictly because of the travel and the time zone and how good the Jaguars play in London, I'm gonna take the Jags. So Joe, you're next.
And we've seen the Bills play pretty bad this season too.
Yeah,
I
they've been playing
mean,
well recently.
I'm saying even with the dominance that they've been the past couple weeks, which is probably why they're favorited by that much. But I'll take Jags in this one. I don't see why not. I think the London's behind him. Um, so what other games are you thinking of? Well, we're gonna cover every game, but
So I
which
want
one
to
to go
talk
there?
about the Giants Dolphins game because I think this is going to be a rout. The one thing the Dolphins traded for Chase Claypool today, uh,
Oof.
'cause- and the one thing that they were missing was a big target for Tua. Everybody on that offense or the weapons on that offense, I think
Mhm.
it's like under 6 foot. Tyreek's under 6 foot. Waddle's under 6 foot. Barrios,
Yep.
Craig Kraft, Gesicki. They got rid of Gesicki. He went to New England. Um, but I think that big target, and if Chase can figure it out, I think and prove that narrative wrong about him being a diva and not living football enough. I think the Dolphins can do some real damage this week, and I think they're going to have a couple of packages for Chase, and they're going to try to exploit that. I think it's been a rough week for the Giants with Evan Neal's comments earlier in the week. Going at the fans is never something you want to do as a player. You're never going to win that battle. That was disgusting. Those comments were disgusting. The Giants defensive coordinator also said that he wakes up in the middle of the night crying because of game plan for the Dolphins offense. So I think the Dolphins spread is my lock of the week here.
Yeah.
Joe, how about you?
Yeah, for that one, I'm taking obviously the Dolphins, but since they are so heavily favored, I'm gonna say Tua passing yards, 287.5, and I'm gonna take Daniel Jones interception. I feel like it happens again.
All right, in your next game?
What was I gonna say? Let's just do Lions Panthers, right?
Yeah. I think that's pretty obvious. I think we're both on the Lions here.
Yeah, but obviously, well, the thing is, I'm looking at the spread, it's -10. So would you consider taking that spread at all? Because that's what I'm considering. I'm thinking Lions spread, but it's a lot. It's -10, man. It's a lot.
That's a lot of points, but as people who watch this show know, we are not a Carolina Panthers show. We are very pessimistic on the Panthers this season.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff's going on over there, and uh, I'm going to take the as your sirens going by. I'm going to take the
Max,
line.
what'd you do? What'd you do?
I'm going to take the Lions, and I want the spread. I'll take the spread in this. I think the Panthers are going to be not embarrassed, but I think it's going to be a two-score game.
There's been a lot of blowouts this season too. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions have something to prove and everything. And I was also looking at the over 44 too in the game. So it's not too bad of a line. Let's say the Lions score 30 points, then it's not that bad of a line if the Lions score a lot.
I like the Lions.
Since the spread is -10, they're gonna say that the Lions are gonna score a lot in this game, meaning that the Panthers only have to score a little bit. So I'll take the over 44 on that one.
I think the Panthers are going to score less than 10 points or 10 points.
Okay.
I would take their team total. I would take the under. I don't know their team total on DraftKings right now, but I would take the under on their team total because the Lions defense is ferocious, and
Yeah.
the Lions are going to, I think, blow them out of the water.
But if the Panthers do score 10 points, which is not that hard to do in a game, in an NFL game, if they do score 10 points, then I think it's definitely a viable option, 44. But that's besides the point. That's our pick for that one. I'm thinking we get into a divisional matchup, Steelers versus Ravens. Now, I think this is going to be closer than people think. People are low on the Steelers right now, but I still think the Ravens are going to pull it out. I'm taking Ravens money line. They're not even that much favored than the Steelers are. It's just because everyone knows it's a divisional game and everything. But I was not leaning, but I was thinking of taking Steelers +4, but I'm going to lean Ravens money line on this one.
Okay, I like the way you're thinking, and I don't disagree with you. But these are the kind of games that Mike Tomlin and the Steelers usually win.
Yeah.
Saw on prime time, I think week 2, Steelers Browns, and everyone had the Browns in that game, and the Steelers won that game, and they looked dominant on defense. And all the talk this week about the Steelers sucking and all the noise around Matt Canada and that offense and how they can't get going. I'm gonna take the Steelers here. I think this is a game that the Steelers win at a divisional game at home.
I think it'd be smarter if you would take the +4 for the Steelers on
I
this
like the
one.
spread. Yeah, I'll take this +4 for the Steelers.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. Now next game, interesting game actually. I think Atlanta versus Texans is going to be a very underrated game this week that people will be surprised about. Texans looked really good last week with CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud's actually making probably progress to one of the best quarterbacks in the draft class, obviously. Him and Anthony Richardson are up there. But I'm high on Anthony Richardson right now, but I'm thinking CJ Stroud is a little bit over him right now at this moment. But I'm thinking Atlanta's going to prove themselves again. I think Atlanta's going to be, I'm taking Atlanta -1.5. Um, I'm liking Bijan touchdown, obviously. I think Bijan's got to have a great game again. That's just my thoughts.
I think that Texas defense is underrated. D'Amico's got all those that whole team flying, and that whole team. It seems like for the first time in a couple years, the Houston Texans are all bought in and they have hope. They have a quarterback of the future in C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson, and both in the AFC South, are going to have a tremendous matchup for the next decade. I'm looking forward to watching those two battle it out in the future. But I'm gonna take the Texans here. I like the way the Texans are playing. I like C.J. Stroud. I like the way that I like the way that I think the Texans are finding their stride.
Yeah.
I think they're all coming in. I think they're coming into their own, and I don't believe in Desmond Ritter. I don't believe he's the answer in Atlanta. I hope I'm wrong. But the way that he's played the last couple of weeks as the Falcons have lost 2 straight, he hasn't been able to make those critical throws when he's needed to. So for that reason, I'm going to take the Texans.
Yeah, if you were to buy into the Texans' momentum, then I would take Texans too.
Yeah.
But I just think Atlanta has to prove themselves this week, and this is a wake-up call for
Yep.
them.
Definitely prove themselves this week.
Yeah, for sure. So maybe we'll just go to Eagles Rams right now. We'll take a trip.
I like this game, and I think
We'll
I
take a
know who you're
trip
going with.
to California and watch this matchup.
Before you give your pick, I just want to talk about this because I was really excited to talk about this game.
Okay.
I'm taking the Rams.
All right. All right.
The Eagles defense has not the Eagles are winning. They're undefeated. They pulled out a big one against Washington last week in overtime. In my opinion, Washington should have won that game in overtime. But I'm going to take the Rams because I don't think the Eagles defense is as good as it has been the last couple of years. The Eagles have not been clicking as much as we think they should have. But they're winning games is all that matters. They're undefeated. They're still a very good team. But there's something different in Philly. I'm gonna take the Rams because Cooper Kupp's back. Puka Nakua's going off. I like Kyron Williams. The run game is clicking. Matthew Stafford is having a great year this year, and I like the way the Rams defense plays. And I think since it's in LA, I'm going to take the Rams. I like the Rams in this game a lot.
A lot. Okay.
A lot. I like the Rams.
Do you want to guess what I'm taking?
The Eagles.
I am taking the Eagles. I'm taking the Eagles. I'm taking the Eagles -4. I do love the Rams. I do like Puka. Do you know if Cooper Kupp is playing this game at all?
Yes, I said that. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, for sure though.
For sure.
Okay. Man, that really switches up my thought process, but I'll probably still go Eagles -4. But I think Cooper Kupp still needs to do well. Like he needs to get himself situated, basically.
Definitely, he needs to get it. He needs to get hit again. He needs to get in football shape.
He also needs to prove that he's the #1 receiver on this Rams team too. Not that I'm saying he isn't.
I think he is.
Not that I'm saying he isn't, but Puka has been one to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But with Puka, Higbee, Kupp, Atwell, and the way the Rams defense is playing, man, I like the Rams in this game a lot. The Rams offensive line is protecting Matthew Stafford. Stafford is having a great year. He's having a low-key year, in my opinion. Not a lot of people are talking about him because not a lot of people had a lot of expectations for the Rams.
Yep.
But since week 1, or week 2, I should say, I've liked this Rams team in the way they've played. So now that they have Cooper Kupp back, give me the Rams. And Joe, your next game.
Okay. Next game. I'm gonna take a little upset on this one for Cardinals versus Bengals. Bengals have not been looking good at whatsoever. On the other hand, on the other side of the football, Cardinals have been looking like dogs, basically. I love Dobbs. I'm actually starting him in fantasy this week, in my money league. So for that reason, I'm taking Cardinals +3. Not because I started him in fantasy. Now I'm not being biased, but I do think the Cardinals have something to prove that they're not the same old team as people say they were.
I think they have proven that they're not the same, that they're not the team that everyone thought that they were going to be going into the season. I think they're a lot better than I think they're a lot better than people thought they were going to be. I think we've talked about this on the show. I've been impressed with the way that the Cardinals team has been playing, and I like Joshua Dobbs a lot. They got his jersey in the team shop. Everyone's gonna be repping the Josh Dobbs jerseys. The Bengals have not looked good, but in my opinion, I would stay away from this game in the book. But if I
Yeah,
were to make
yeah.
it, if I were to make a pick, I would pick the Cardinals spread with you.
Right, right.
The
But
Bengals have not looked good. Joe Burrow is averaging 4 yards an attempt. He's
man, Joe
stacked in
Burrow's
the
been
pocket.
selling me, man. He really has. It's been stressing me out.
But everyone's waiting for the Bengals to turn it on. So this could be the week that they turn it on and everyone and they shut everybody up. But my brain says the Cardinals.
I think the Bengals will turn it on once Joe Burrow turns it on.
Right.
And that's when his whatever Achilles is
Of
feeling.
course. Of course. He's making $250 million.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when he feels better, basically. But yeah, I'll still take the Cardinals +3 in this one, but it's an iffy game. Um, another weird game, another weird spread for me is Chiefs versus Vikings. The Vikings obviously haven't been looking good. The Chiefs, you watched last week. It kind of proves that the refs are for the Chiefs, and I'm not being biased at that point. I think everyone in the league agrees that the refs love Kansas City because of the publicity they're getting right now. NFL is making money off the Chiefs. So for that reason, I'm taking Chiefs -5.5. -5.5, I thought it'd be a little bit more, but the Vikings, I don't know, man. It's just
Why don't you think it's more?
why don't I think it's more? It's just because I feel like
Why
the
do you think the
Chiefs
spread
are
is
gonna
as
blow them
close as it is?
out.
Why don't you think the spread is as close as it is?
Well, the Vikings are a high scoring team. That's what I'm thinking.
I think
Kirk Cousins and Jettas have been playing well this year.
Yeah, and I think this could be a trap game. I might take the Vikings in this game. I think
Okay.
this is a trap game for the Chiefs. They're getting way too much. They're getting way too again, it's not them, it's the NFL publicizing the relationship between Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, and it's getting a little bit too much. And the Chiefs are on the road this week in Minnesota for again, and I would usually pick the Chiefs in this game, and then I would lose. And I'd be like, why didn't I just go with my head? So I'm going to take the Vikings in this game. I think this gives me a lot. I think the spread is close for a reason. I think the books know something, so I'm going to take the Vikings.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said it's a weird game. Like
Yeah,
5.5 seems a little bit too low, right, for me.
yeah.
So I don't know. I'm still going with my gum taking the Chiefs because the Chiefs are the Chiefs, you know. But
I don't like betting against Mahomes, dude. I really don't like it, but for whatever reason, I just think the Chiefs it's going to catch up to them at some point, and they have a big target on their back, and I think the Vikings got to come out in this game firing.
mhm. You know which game I'm really excited for other than the Dallas and Niners game
Which
and
one?
Eagles Rams. I'm liking a little bit of Colts Titans, That's going to be an interesting matchup. I love it, Anthony Richardson again. We're an Anthony Richardson show. Max has put me on Anthony Richardson. So, I'm taking Anthony Richardson anytime touchdown in this
Oh yeah,
game.
I've
I'm
taken
pretty
that
sure
every
it's
single week.
I'm pretty sure it's plus money. I think it's like plus 115. Along with that, I'm taking Colts money line too over the Titans.
I'm also
I've
with you on
seen
that.
more for the Colts than I have the Titans. So, and it's a divisional matchup. Colts are plus 110, by the way, for money line. You want to
Yep,
take?
and they're giving you. I think the Colts are also going to win this game. They've looked a lot better than I've also thought coming into the season. Anthony Richardson is awesome. I love Anthony Richardson, so I'm also on the Colts with you, Joe.
I like that. But if Derrick Henry turns it up, if it's a Derrick Henry game, if any game's a Derrick Henry game, the Titans are winning. But
Yeah,
it's tough to tell. But I like the Colts in this one.
I do too.
So I think we got the Saints and the Patriots, and then the Raiders and Packers, right?
Yeah,
Oh, and Jets Broncos. We'll talk about that later. Let's go Saints Patriots. It's a very close spread. I'm pretty sure it's -1. -1 for the Saints, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
But I
it's
think
one. It's
it
1 point
flip-flops
spread.
on different books. FanDuel could be different, but for DraftKings, I'm pretty sure it's -1. But I'm gonna take Saints money line. Patriots, Mac Jones did look pretty, he this season he actually is having kind of an underrated season with his passing right now. But uh,
What?
you're talking about Mac Jones? Yeah.
Did you just say Mac Jones having an underrated season in terms of
Yeah.
passing? Mac
Yeah.
Jones sucks.
Bro. Look at his stats, bro.
Come on, Joe.
Look at his stats, bro.
Joe. Mac Jones stinks. He got benched last week.
Bro, look at his stats. Other than the Cowboys, 316 yards, 231 yards, 200 yards. Like, come on. 3 touchdown pass against the Eagles. A touchdown pass every game. Decent. I'm saying like people are like hating on him a lot right now this year. He had 1 bad game against the Cowboys.
Mac Jones stinks. Anyway, give me
His completion percentage was a little off, but his yardage is pretty good.
Give me the Saints because I like the Saints defense a lot. Alante Taylor, a corner, alongside Marshawn Lattimore. They're just clicking on all cylinders. They come up in the film every single week. There's something to point out with that defense, and I like the way that the Saints offense is playing, despite how Derek Carr got injured against the Packers. It didn't look the same last week. A lot of people were killing him for that, but I think Derek Carr is another week healthier, another week removed from that shoulder sprain. So I like the Saints in this one just because Christian Gonzalez is out for the season. They lost Matthew Judon for a bicep tear, I believe. He's out for a few weeks. So I think the Saints are going to win this game.
Never want to root for an injury. Never. It sucks that Judon's out and everything.
Yeah,
I was never a fan of his, but it just sucks.
However, they did get J.C. Jackson back, so that's going to fill the hole of Christian Gonzalez. But I'm still going to take the Saints.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm taking Saints money line as well.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's what I'm not even going to get into the Mac Jones debate right now. But let's talk about Raiders versus Packers. That's also an interesting game because the Packers have seemed like on and off, but Jordan Love has been looking pretty good. I'm taking Packers money line. The Packers, man, it's just rough. Both of those teams is on and off for me, but the Raiders I feel like is more off than on than the Packers are.
And the Raiders are also starting their the rookie quarterback Caden O'Connell out of Purdue,
which looked decent against the Chargers last week.
He did.
I'm not even gonna lie. They looked like a pretty decent team. And if Josh Jacobs turns it up, then you never know.
Yeah, the Raiders just can't figure it out there. So I'm also gonna lay Chargers money line.
Yeah, you said Chargers money line, Packers money line.
Yeah, Packers money line. Yeah,
I think the Chargers are on a bye week this week.
Yeah, they played them last week. I got mixed up. Packers money line.
Yeah. All right. I don't think we're missing any other games, right? I think we're good.
Jets Broncos.
I said other than the Jets Broncos.
I don't know.
This game scares me, by the way, a lot. Because if we lose to the Broncos, you know how much drama and chaos our franchise would be under right now? Imagine WFAN on the radio the next morning after that game, after a loss to the Broncos.
I like the way Zach Wilson played last week, and I think he carries it over into this week. I think the Broncos are a bad football team.
They are. And
I think Russell Wilson is done. Give me the Jets. I like the way the Jets played last week a lot.
Other than even without Zach Wilson, I think all around our team played pretty well.
If the Jets, well, we also have to stop. We have to do a better job of stopping the run on defense. But if Zach Wilson plays like he did last week, we will not only make it to the playoffs, but we will make some noise in the playoffs. And Aaron Rodgers will be back by then.
Can we only give up 6 points after the first quarter to the Chiefs? It was 17-0, right? In the first quarter.
Yeah. You're right.
So we only gave up 6 points. Our defense looked pretty good. In general, I liked CJ Mosley. Quincy Williams had a good game. I think Breece Hall is gonna have a breakout game this game because he's Saleh said that his reps are gonna be not limited anymore. He's just gonna be a working back.
And
he said that last week. He said that last week, but I think this week he's going to get way more reps than he did last week.
And he's going back to the site where he tore his ACL last year and his season ended. So he's gonna be fired up to play in this game. And so is Hackett, by the way. But the comments by Sean Payton in training camp about Hackett and the job he did in Denver. Hackett's gonna be fired up to play in this one, even though he's not playing in this one. But he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be aggressive in this game.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm also along with Jets money line, I'm taking Brees over on his rushing yards. I like that a lot. So I want to know, what are your key takeaways for this game? Like what's
defense? The Broncos are going to take advantage of the cornerback position because TJ Reed is out. I think Eccles is out. And I think the two options to put outside are Michael Carter and Bryce Hall. So I don't know who. I think Bryce Hall statistically is better on the outside than Michael Carter. I think they could put Michael Carter in the slot, and I think they could put Bryce on the outside, and they're gonna be trying to pick on Bryce all day long. So they have to once they figure out a way to stop that passing game, the Broncos are gonna revert to running the ball. If they could even stop the passing, if they can even stop the bleeding on that side, the Broncos revert to run the football, and they have to be able to stop the run. And if Zach Wilson plays as well as he did last week, Jets are going to be able to score. So,
I think if Zach Wilson played at least 70% of what he played like last week, then I think we win this game. I feel.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I think we're going to win this game.
Yeah, you think so? By what do you think the score is going to be? The range.
20-10 Jets.
20-10 Jets, yeah. I mean, it's definitely realistic. Broncos defense is not good, in my opinion. My key takeaway for this game, though, is the O-line has to play well, man. You gotta let Zach have time to throw the ball.
I don't think that's an issue because they just released Randy Gregory. The Broncos did this week, and
I realize, but the Broncos
they don't have many guys left on that defensive line. So I think the offensive line is and they blocked up the Chiefs' defensive line last week really well. Joe Tippmann did a great job.
That's what I'm saying. We got to keep the momentum and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know specifically what the lineup was, like where Elijah Vera Tucker was, where Tippmann was, where everyone else was, but we need to keep that lineup together because I think moving forward, that lineup was the best one out of every other lineup that we had in the previous weeks, and I think they're starting to click more. Their pass rush win rate, their blocking rate has been a lot better. It's been increasing every week, so there's another thing. I think Garrett's gonna have a good game as well. We just need one more thing. Nathaniel Hackett needs to do calling the same plays like he did last week with the quick stuff, like the thing to the handoff to Gibson, just like the trick plays. Creativity, exactly. We need some more creativity in the offense.
That's a good place to stop this.
He needs to get the ball out. That's what Zach Wilson needs to get the ball out quick.
Yep. And the offensive line's got to hold up to give him some time.
Yes.
Joe, we'll be back on Tuesday for the recap of this NFL slate. Peace.